your social media, be aware you could be putting your data or even your home at risk. Our tech expert Dave Hatter is here with some important tips via Zoom this morning. Good morning, Dave. Good to see you.
Morning, Sheila. Thanks for having me.
So why is it such a big no-no to start putting those vacation selfies online while you're gone?
Yeah, ask any police officer about that. If you look, there are many well-known examples out there where folks have had their homes broken into, and there are criminals out there looking to see that you're out of town. So when you're really just broadcasting, there's not going to be anyone at your house. That's always a bad idea. You know, if you just can't help but post your vacation photos, make sure you wait and do it when you get home. And also, you know, turn off any kind of location sharing apps on your phone, because that might also be giving up the fact that you're out of town.
Yeah,
that's another good tip to make sure.
That's a really good point, especially if you have kids in photos. Those location services are really important. Now, once you're gone, okay, let's talk about some of the things you need to do. You have a warning, first of all, about the Wi-Fi at the hotel or resort.
Yeah, I never use public Wi-Fi, Sheila, never. It's just way too insecure. There's a device called a pineapple. Bad guys can set it up so that it appears to be the hotspot at your hotel or a Panera or wherever. This doesn't just apply to hotels, just in general. Public Wi-Fi is bad. If you don't have to enter a password, you should never use it. I don't use public Wi-Fi anyway. I would certainly never use it without a virtual private network to encrypt my data. You know, the best advice for people really, and I know this can be painful, but you know, don't use the hotel's Wi-Fi. Don't use the cruise ship or the local McDonald's or whatever.
Then what can you use?
Use the hotspot on your phone.
Oh, the hotspot on your phone.
Yeah,
okay.
Use the hotspot on your phone. Yeah, get a phone that will support that capability. Pay the extra if you need to, but the level of security is so much higher because, again, bad guys can set up a Wi-Fi network that will look exactly like the hotel or McDonald's or whatever. When you connect to it, they steal your data.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't even know I had a hotspot on my phone till my teenager showed me that. But anyway, many restaurants and other businesses are still also using those QR codes for the menus and things. Do you have some advice about those?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize. I mean, QR codes are super convenient. They're showing up everywhere because they make life a lot more convenient. But the bottom line is they can be malicious. If you can't be absolutely certain, like if you walk into a restaurant and they hand you a printed menu and there's a QR code on it and they're handing it to you, that's probably okay. But my recommendation would be never, ever scan a random QR code. If you're walking down the street, see something on a sign or whatever, don't scan it. Hackers can literally post something on there. And, when you scan it, all kinds of nasty things can happen to that device. So,
okay.
I don't ever scan a random QR code.
And let's talk about our devices. We take a lot of things with us. So what tips do you have for that?
Well, if you can, and if you're a super paranoid nut like me, get like a burner device, a computer or a phone or something that you just take on the trip. It doesn't have any of your sensitive data. I realize that's not practical for a lot of people. So, if you can take any sensitive data off the device, make sure the device has got the latest updates, it's got antivirus, encrypt the data before you leave. So if the device is lost or stolen, it doesn't expose you. And I would also say, even be aware, this is a crazy concept for people, but if you ever heard of the term juice jacking, people are on their devices all the time, the battery's low. Most places will now have charging stations. This is a hack. It's an actual hack. Hackers will set up a device that appears to be a charging station. When you plug your phone or computer into it, they got all your stuff. So, I would be very careful about plugging into any sort of random charging stations. Again, you got to verify it. And one last tip, don't plug your phone into a rental car. That infotainment center is going to suck everything out of your phone as part of the natural process of trying to set up the contacts. What happens to that when you turn the car back in? So that's something folks don't think about, but anytime you connect to one of those infotainment centers, you're going to have this synchronization of data and potentially expose sensitive data somewhere down the road through that rental car.
Yeah, you're just leaving it all behind. Dave Hatter, Thank you so much for the travel tips of a different kind. We appreciate it.
Always my pleasure. Thanks, Sheila.
All right, see you later. Coming up, forced to move across the country, even around the world, military